Yo, what's up, guys? Let's talk about a very interesting team that actually someone else showcased to me. So what does it involve? Well, it involves being the most lazy way out there for doing your arena offense. And currently we have an event where you have to do some arena offense, so that actually makes it a little bit easier. But you can even use this in Arena Rush. And it's revolving around Aya. And you all know about Aya. Aya does have the skills where you get bar, you will drain some of your HP, but you do also lower the HP of the enemy by a lot. You can actually use this to auto. So normally I was autoing with like a Feng Yang, Leo, Alaya, Leo kind of style, or anything around those kind of things, and you add in like a Veramos, or you add in like a Seimei as I do. But there's actually a more easy team, and actually faster team than this. And it does involve two Ayas. So we got two Ayas on this account. It is not my account. Shout out to Ross Gaze for letting me use his account. How do you actually clear something fast on this while using two of those? Well, let me actually showcase you the team that he had in mind that would work very fast. Plus, I also have a replacement if you only have one Aya, but that is coming later in the video. And let's actually showcase how this would look like. So first of all, what can you actually hit with this? Well, you want to hit anything that has multiple debuffers. So in the case of this, yes, you could probably hit it, but it's not as great because it's not that many debuffs. In the case of this in particular, for example, there's a lot of debuffs. That's what we're using. So what is the full team that we're using? We're actually still using a Leo, and we're using a Pure Vanilla Cookie, also known as the Angela as last. And why is this that strong, actually? Well, this one was actually super smart because she provides shields, but every time anything hits a shield, they will take damage. And you do know about Ayas and Nobara, same unit, they bring a unit to 1 HP. What is better than a unit brought to 1 HP, taking a turn, hitting something on the shield, and then dying off? Let's see how this works out, because he told it against me, and I was like, yo, on paper, that sounds so strong. And let's actually see how good that works. So we are also gonna hit the auto button. We're going to hit the auto button and we'll just see what will happen over here. So we're going to take a lot of debuffs, but therefore also taking a lot of damage towards the enemy. You want to build this as high HP as possible. Heal blocks might be a little bit annoying here and there. They do both have violent, so with the violent they have extra chances to get anything in, which is more annoying for them. In this case, we do have some heavy hits on the Angela going in, we have some heals going in. This is the moment where everything is super low HP. And that is mostly the part like, okay, how fast can you clear the moment everything is like super low HP? But that was a relatively fast fight. And looking at that defense, that was a defense that a lot of people would normally maybe even skip, maybe even don't hit at all. But that's also the limitation of this team right away. Something like this, a Pontus with an invisibility, is definitely not something you want to hit over there. This might be too much on damage, but let's actually right away limit test it. Is this too much damage, or can this double Nobara team actually still do enough? I would say in this case, it's probably one of those autos where you press auto and then you want to hit the target that is probably the main damage threat on the enemy side, which I would assume in this case is that Balanus. So let's actually see how much we're going to do over here. So we get a bit of damage in. It's definitely not that bad. We also have them killing themselves on shields in the first place, which is pretty nice. I was doing this with a Seimei, but of course with the Seimei you can't really proc and then do all too much work over there. We're still getting a lot of debuffs. We're still taking a lot of damage, but that is totally fine. They are taking more damage. So this is the point where everything is 1 HP already. Nearly kills itself on shields. And this is where you would like to have shields on more units out there. But yeah, I like... Man, this is super fast. Like, you're clearing things absolutely super fast. And I currently do not have a second one. If I were to have a second Nobara, I would probably test this out in Arena Offense for just the whole rush, just autoing the whole rush. Let's see how far you get. That's also right away my question. If something has a little bit more healers, can you only fight no healer teams? Because in this case, we of course got a Camilla in there. Camilla is definitely a little bit harder to fight. Sure, we have the Volantis next to it, which will give me some debuffs. But if the Camilla is left alone at the end of the fight, it could definitely be a little bit more of what you actually don't want to be hitting this with. So let's see how far we get if this is the case. We still have AoEs from you. We have a lot of reflex. We got some damage in from both of them. If you tend to get that freeze on us, even better. We get a lot of debuffs over there. So we're killing this. Maybe I should have killed the Vanessa first life. Okay, in this case, wow. Dead. Dead. Did I put any effort to this? Not at all. Were these units hard to build? Not at all. There's just HP Nemesis, and you preferably want to go 15 resistance. I think that's the only thing that I would recommend better over this build. 15 resistance, and then this is also whatever builds. I would recommend going additional damage by HP. It probably helps the most on this. And then this one is also too high on resistance, so The builds on these are arguably not even that great. This one, I do like the Revenge. Revenge kind of makes sense that with a Revenge you can hit something. Leo build, Loki doesn't even matter. Like, you might as well just go for enhanced sets by this point. Thing you definitely do not want to hit is anything Oblivion related. So if you're fighting a random Kumar, or you're fighting a Dark Gojo, or well, those are pretty much the most common things out there, I guess. But this team, I would say that in a lot of servers that are not as tryhard as Europe server for Arena Rush, this will probably take you really far. So in this case, we did see a few resistance kicking in on these units over there. So that's why you want to make sure that the resistance is not really a thing that you're getting. But man, this is clearing absolutely super fast. Like, everything is near to no HP already. They do hit on this. We have this final hit in. Now, if they were to start hitting anything, you just die by your own shield. This team is absolutely insane. I'm having a lot of fun with this team. Like, this team is definitely very good. A lot of people already might ask, like, say, what the hell would you not hit with this? Well, something that could insta-kill you like a Dark Demon. That is something that you definitely should not go for. Zeratus, maybe a little bit more on the tricky side as well, but I definitely do think it is still very doable to hit those as well. So main things you are hitting is anything with a decent number of debuffs on multiple units, preferably AoE such as this. You want to have 2-turn AoE debuffs on at least one unit. I think then you're kind of good to go. Okay, this is some heavy damage on that unit right there. That's always a little bit dangerous if something has anything like super high damage. Does also have a little bit of self-healing, but I think it's not the worst of issues unless he does good damage. Yeah, you also have to be careful with things that do simply too much damage in one go. That is always one of those things that is a little bit scary. So you do get some heals in that right now. This will definitely clap this unit right now. So that is the issue of, like, okay, does something have too much damage? Yes, then it might be an issue. But if one dies, the other one still lives. I think it would be more of an issue if your Angela or your Leo tends to die or something, because we don't have that much speed rocking in all of those units. Something you don't want to hit is maybe something that has a little bit too much revives. I want to just limit test it or see how long would a fight like this take. But a fight with a Seimei, a fight with a Nigong, that's where the heavy healers kick in, where it would be like, maybe that's not really a cup of tea what you do want to hit. We do have the Dark Hacker in there, however, for debuffs on our sides, which might help out a little bit, but the revive and everything, that's... I could assume that this would take a bit more time. As long as they're just landing the debuffs on those, it's actually not that bad. But also, I land a provoke, they start healing more than I do. So that's definitely one of those things as well. That doesn't do any damage. Now we have some debuffs to work with. That's good. Actually, low-key, I bring this thing in torrent range. That is definitely an issue right there. Someone is sitting in torrent range at the moment. So we definitely have to kill you first. But we kill most things, actually. But it also comes back to life. Does not torrent in this case. That is still fine. You're still torrent range, but I would take a turn before you. And therefore... Oh, wait, I also cleansed off my turn. Well, if you don't proc on that... Actually, this went a lot faster than a lot of people trying to hit their normal offenses. This is actually really insane. I think a lot of people have to start building counts against this. Gojo, however, do not do for this. Like, this one AoE with the Oblivion, you don't want to do that. Might seem pretty high on damage, but also has a lot of debuff, so let's actually give it a test. And as mentioned, I would say that these builds are not even that great, because you want to have more resistance. You could have more specific minus stats against something. So there's definitely improvements for these builds in the first place. So definitely things that you could upgrade. Maybe this is a little bit too much dot damage to work with. This is where Seimei comes in and is pretty strong, but then again, so far so good. Taking out one, taking out yourself. Taking out yourself. Like, those self-kills are definitely insane. Like, how much damage? Nearly took out itself. It was hitting on 2 shields. This is super fast, man. I don't know. Like, I started off with 3 wings. I refreshed. I still have 6 wings left right now. So we already did like a good 7 wings. This is definitely one of those you probably want to skip out of, because during the invisibility, you don't get enough debuffs or you don't deal any damage. So that just doesn't really help you. Things that could insta-snipe you, you probably don't want to really hit those. But anything else, Abelio. Let's give it a try. There's not too many debuffs. No, there's actually slow on the Underwater. So let's go for first hit on trying to kill you out. Yep, we do get some slows in there. We even got like Seal in there. We like those. There is a little bit of healing on the provokes that I do tend to land myself, though. But let's just see. You also have stun. You also have dot. Like, there's so many things have small like debuffs here and there. We got a provoke sitting over there. There's just so many random debuffs that can happen at random moments, which just makes this team like even better. Like another stun over there, sitting over there, more damage, double slow. So double slow over there, that will mean death to the enemy. That's the thing. And as you can see over here, I have been autoing all of them. I have not played a single turn myself in any of those hits I did in this video thus far. So yeah, this is definitely a team. I want a second Aya. I would honestly be using this in my own team. This team is actually not good enough because Leo actually lowers the damage of Leia. But yeah, this is definitely, I want to have this team because there's certain very niche defenses that you don't really hit with anything else. And this would just absolutely, for the living shit, clear like the whole team. So we have a proc on that. Too bad. If we had a proc on you as well, then we would have been like nearly done already, which would have been insane. But yeah, that's just how stupidly strong this is. So I'm definitely, Aya is one of those I will keep a copy of because this is just stupidly strong. Like this, you clear out a lot of stuff that's like, oh, normally I don't outspeed it, can actually clear it fast enough. Also, compare this to how fast you're normally clearing things on like a Feng Yang, Leo, or Laya. That might take a good bit of time, but with this, it's barely taking any time at all. So this just makes it very good. But you need that second Aya. How are you going to work without the second Aya? And he actually just gave me an option without the second Aya, and I'm going to try that. And I would say I expect it to be a lot less good, but I'm fairly curious to see how good or how much less good it would be. Is there actually a lot of... No, wait. Do I even have any debuffs? Yeah, that's a thing you don't want to do. Fight something with too little debuffs. This one could stun me. I thought for a second that you have debuffs, but I think it's the other one. Like the other version of you has the debuffs. I think I have no debuffs whatsoever. So this fight could be going into infinite. Yeah, that's one of those things. You actually have to fight some debuffs. Otherwise, nothing is gonna die over here for a very long time. I literally thought you had your AoE had debuffs, but apparently not. You don't have debuffs for sure. You only have one stun, which is also not really gonna happen. So I think I'll just let it wait out for a draw. I don't want to waste this guy. Oh, there was some resistance over there, but was that just a pushback? It was just a pushback. I don't know. Well, there's Destroy on Leo. He could kill once in a blue moon. And it's absolutely not going to happen against this and that. So yeah, nothing is going to die here. I'll just let it wait out to a draw. Yay, finally the draw button. And absolutely nothing happening. Thank you for the draw button. So a very good example of what you do not want to hit. So let's say we have to remove one of the Ayas because we simply do not have an Aya. What's the best replacement? Well, the owner of the account told me that a Sahad might actually be a good replacement, so I just threw a whatever set at the Sahad. It's also one of those HP damage dealings kind of scaling units, so let's see if that is a good replacement that actually does do a good bit of damage, or is this something that would be a lot slower? So we have debuff sitting from your Thundered State. This is also the most like slacking units, what's it called, stalling unit in game, and we actually got 0 debuffs on anything. You have debuffs, you have debuffs, you have debuffs, everything has debuffs. Give me back my debuffs, thank you, that's also works. So is it a lot slower? Yeah, it's definitely a good bit slower. I would definitely say maybe this, it feels usable, it feels winnable. So if you just care about winning, yeah, you will definitely win with this. Absolutely, you will win with this. But is it a lot slower where I think that the double Aya would have cleared this whole team like 3 times already? Also, yes. So maybe in comments, let me know if you have any other ideas what you would place in the second Aya slot to make this kind of fast. But I do think that a Aya by a really long shot makes this the fastest out there. Only thing is that this does have a little bit more kill potential because like the last fight, especially if you were, I would actually, if you do this, put Sahad on Destroy. And then Sahad could have cleared like that whole fight in the last fight. So that fight that we did earlier with pretty much no debuffers on the enemy side, Sahad would have most likely been able to clear that whole battlefield by just destroying slowly over time. Also, another thing you probably do not want to hit, well, I mentioned it before, invisibility, so health fastest. I wouldn't really recommend to go for that. This one as well, too much nuking damage, also not enough. This was a team we hit earlier. We cleared it super fast with the double Aya, aka the double Nobara. Let's see how fast it goes if we do it on this one. We're going to place it fully on auto. We're not even going to select any unit that we're tabbing. And let's see how fast this is. So normally, as mentioned, a lot more damage coming in. In this case, a lot less damage coming in. You have an okay bit of damage from that Sahad, but it's definitely not the most amount that you could be looking at. Definitely a true statement. I could maybe see a world where you go for another unit that maybe gives a lot of attack bar to your unit. So I could see a potential triple revenge vert on like a super tanky build, 100 resistance, just to try to cycle as many turns to your Aya as possible. I could definitely see that as an option. Don't think you really need a second sustainer. I think the Angela, aka the Pure Vanilla Cookie, is more than enough already. But it's just trying to get more turns in. And I would say Sahad is mainly good for the final single unit to clear it off, especially if you don't clear like the final unit that you're trying to clear is a unit that doesn't have any debuffs. Let's say that you're fighting off a Camilla or something, then I can definitely see the value of a Sahad in there. But in most cases, this is definitely going to be 2 to 3 times as slow as the other team. That's definitely what it does seems to be like. So in this case, let's also give that a try. There's not too many debuffs on this team, while Nyx could potentially land glancing. S2 most of the time is on this pair. We're going to clear you first. I would recommend in most cases, if you want to speed things up but just a little bit, at least give the first hit towards, or like keep like the tap of like the semi-auto on the Vanessa. Because otherwise, Vanessa revive, blah, 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 yada, yada, you know how it works. Also, Nyx actually does help for prolonging debuffs. That kind of works, unless we cleanse them off. And that's kind of the downside on that. Good freeze. Thank you for that freeze. Don't cleanse off the freeze. Yay, more damage coming in. In this case, Sahad can do a pretty good thing to clear out that Camilla. But once again, I feel like this is legitimately 2 to 3 times as slow as we were doing the other team. Like, the other team just felt so much faster. But that Camilla, or the damage on Camilla right there, is pretty substantial good damage. So that part is kind of going in where I would say sure it has a little bit of value where at least that kind of goes for you that you can do something. But as fast as the other one was, and as fireworks as the other one was, and as super fast clearing as the other one was, this is kind of like, yeah, it's not bad. It will win you matches. It will definitely be chill for midweek autoing. I think I might switch this for like the midweek autoing that I'm doing. So in the end, did not really record for that long, and I already did 13 matches. That is crazy fast, and I did not really even put effort to trying to clear things fast. So if you're in a server that is not that tried, or you're in a league that is not that try hard, I definitely do think you can get G3 if you have a good defense with just spamming this offense. You can be as lazy as hell, just like auto, 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 auto. Because there's so many things without any healers. Try them for the pushback, into a Tian Lang, into this, into that, not enough healers. You just clear everything. So once again, Frostgaze, thanks a lot for letting me showcase this team on your account. If you have any cool AOs or Siege offense or maybe even RTA team that you would like me to showcase on your account, let me know in the DMs in Discord, and see you as always in the next one. Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more guides, join the Discord and check out the content tab for the guide video archive, which contains all of the guides that you might need. Hope to see you there.